Our distinguished guest for this evening is the Honorable Joseph R. McCarthy, United States Senator from Wisconsin.
Senator McCarthy, our viewers, of course, know that you are one of the most controversial political figures of our time. And this is your first appearance since your rather overwhelming victory in the Wisconsin primaries. Now, sir, what brings you east at this time?
My purpose, Mr. Huey, will be about the same as the purpose in some 12, 13 states that I'll visit, and that is to bring important facts to the American people. You see, I get a very strong feeling that most of our people in public life underestimate the intelligence of the American people. They try to argue and tell people how to vote. I think you need merely give the people the facts, and then you can go home and don't worry, they'll vote right.
Well, Senator, a lot of people came into your state, into Wisconsin, to try to defeat you in the primaries, and it seemed to have worked the other way. Mm-hmm. Now, don't you think that perhaps when you go into these states, it may have that sort of effect?
I may say this, that my appeal is largely made to Democrats. I feel that the millions of Americans who have long voted the Democrat ticket are just as loyal, they love America just as much, they hate communism just as much as the average Republican. And I think it is up to those loyal Democrats to realize that as of today, they don't have a party in Washington. The only way they can have a change is by voting Republican.
Well, do you think a lot of Democrats came in and voted for you in the Wisconsin election?
I don't think it. I know it. Our normal, let's put it this way, 2 years ago, the Democratic vote was about 47% of the total. The Republican vote, 53%. This year, we had let's see, I think these figures are right, 83% Republican vote, 17% Democrat vote, and most of the Democrats apparently voted for McCarthy because I carried the Democrat wards normally better than I carried the Republican wards, which proves my contention, and that is that in this fight against communism, it isn't a Democrat fight, it isn't a Republican fight. And for that reason, I don't go into any state and tell the people how to vote.
What is the broader interpretation of your own victory in Wisconsin as you see it?
Let's put it this way. Many people have been waiting for someone to expose the extent to which our suicidal foreign policy has been dictated from the Kremlin. They've been waiting for someone to really get up and fight corruption the way men like Senator Williams have fought it. And I think my people in Wisconsin were voting an approval of a fight against communism, corruption, the sellout of American interests. I will never avoid giving the facts to the American people, Mr. Huey. It's so easy, you see, to talk about communism generally, to talk about the sellout in China and Korea generally. But unless you call the roll of the traitors, unless you call the roll of those who have been responsible for the suicidal foreign policy, it's a waste of the speaker's time and the audience time. And I don't intend to ever get up and, in general terms, talk about treason, talk about sellouts. You see, foreign policy isn't like little topsy, it doesn't just grow. Treason isn't like little topsy, it doesn't just grow. It's created by men with faces and men with names. And I think those of us who have been elected by the American people to man the watchtowers, unless we have the intelligence to recognize the traitors, and then, if I may use a word which we use in Wisconsin, unless we have the guts to name them, we should be taken down from those watchtowers and should not be representing the American people. And I don't intend to ever avoid giving the names of traitors, giving the names of communists when I discover them in important positions.
Well, Senator, we appreciate it very much for your being with us tonight.
Well, thank you, Mr. Hesler.